Bautista.
I watched Bass get to his feet. I couldn't fathom how someone so huge could move as if he weighed less than I did. In about 2 seconds, he was out the door, leaving me to chase after him, my hands tied around my backpack straps. When I finally caught up with him outside the building, he glanced at me.
Closes in 10 minutes. You should have told me you wanted a shake earlier.
My mouth fell open. What? I took off and yelled, "So why aren't you running?" I heard his laughter behind me, but I didn't stop till I got to the fruit juice stall across the street. Glad the quick sprint didn't leave me out of breath, I asked Kuya behind the booth for 2 mango shakes. I leaned on the counter as Bass approached. He wasn't that far behind, but I was happy to know that I was faster than him.
Why do I feel like I lost a race I wasn't even aware I was in?
He wasn't out of breath either. Points for dojo guy. Because he just did.
Is everything a competition with you?
No. Then I remembered our game off one-on-one. Maybe. He leaned against the counter next to me.
I take that as a yes.
When the kuya handed us our shakes, I dug into my pocket and thrust the bills at him. "It's on me for the grief I'm always causing you." He raised his eyebrows.
That almost makes me forgive each and every rude thing you've said to me. Almost.
Then he took a sip of his shake, threw the striped paper straw, and closed his eyes.
Well, that changes things.
I poked him in the tummy, my finger retracting at how hard it was. What did I expect? Flab above the black belt? Explain. He pushed the paper cup in my hands up to my mouth.
Taste it, and you tell me.
I closed my lips around the paper straw, and the icy sweetness filled my mouth. "Wow, Kuya, what did you put in this thing?" Kuya smiled at me. I thanked him, and we began walking back to the studio, sipping our shakes. I could tell the mangoes were naturally sweet, and it wasn't just the syrup that gave the drink flavor. At this time of the year, the rainy season, mangoes were usually sour, and I was used to a sharp tang in my usual sweet shake, but this one.
They probably have a magic form or something. I love the shakes here.
Bass still had his straw in his mouth while he talked. "This is the first one I've had. I see the stall on my way to ballet, but I never felt I deserved a mango shake as much as I did today." I jumped into a pile of damp leaves and listening to them swish. We sat on the same short wooden bench right outside the building entrance and continued to drink our shakes in silence. This time I was the first to break it, not because it was an uncomfortable silence, but because I remember something I really wanted to ask him. "How do you know Matt?" Bass tilted his head to look at me, his lips still around the straw. He seemed to be weighing his words before speaking them out loud. Finally, he lowered the shake.
He was my mentor.
"Your what?"
Years ago, I was what my school liked to call a troubled kid.
"You?" It was then that I realized my image of him was the complete opposite of me. A guy who followed the rules, studied hard, did Aikido, the least competitive martial art. Yeah, I kind of looked it up, so what? And did everything right. Didn't even call me out when I was being a brat, so yeah, hearing that was a surprise. It was also surprising how I pieced together a character's sketch of him without even knowing him that well.
Yeah, I was angry. I didn't have an outlet or a way to express my anger, so
He squinted at me and took a breath.
I bullied the smaller kids.
You used your bulk to intimidate them? I wanted to tease him, but I could sense the heaviness of his words, as if he were confessing something to me, and a part of me felt touched, honored to be on the receiving end of something so personal. All I wanted to know was how he knew Matt, but I guess it wasn't a simple answer. Or maybe I had crossed into the realm of friend. I held my tongue and waited.
Yeah, sort of. I sensed which kids were easily scared and just pushed them a bit more. It wasn't my proudest moment.
He bent his head. I wanted to reach out and run my hand across it, but that would have been too familiar. So I put my empty cup on the ground and sat on my hands instead. They were cold from holding the shake and needed warming anyway.
The school stepped in with all sorts of discussions. counseling, therapy,
He continued.
but I was just getting angrier and angrier. In the end, they enrolled me in this mentorship program where I hung out with a guy older than me, played sports with him, and finally he took me to my first Aikido session. I owe Matt my sanity.
You're talking about the same Matt? My mom's boyfriend? The one I thought was a shallow, food-loving moron who my friends had crushes on.
He told me Aikido was the best way to calm myself down, sort out my anger issues. He practiced it too, but not as obsessively as I do now. But he introduced it to me, and I'll always be grateful to him for that.
He gave me a small smile, which I tried to return, while still trying to process that this new information about Bass and Matt has... I licked my lips, terrified of the answer. Has Matt said anything about me?
He's told me about your mom, how she's awesome and how he loves her so much, and that she has a daughter about my age who plays amazing basketball. I don't think he's ever seen you dance, though. He's never mentioned that to me.
I swallowed the guilt, now moving up from my gut to my heart. No, I've never invited him to watch me dance. He's only seen me play because Mom didn't tell me he was coming. I was really pissed off that he was there. Did I just admit that to him? After he told me this guy changed his life, saved his sanity? But Bass didn't look angry. In fact, he looked amused.
You make his life a living hell, don't you?
I opened my mouth about to defend myself, but when he grinned, I felt the hot air rush out of my balloon of bravado. Yeah, I do.
I wouldn't expect anything less from you, Jerry.
He laughed.
But Matt's a good guy, I promise. And he really loves your mom.
I know that. I groaned, but I can't stand that he's there to take my dad's place, you know? And he tries so freaking hard. I covered my face with my hands. But no, I might as well have no dad. I felt his hand on my shoulder. His touch was light, tentative, as if he were afraid I would break it if he put more pressure.
Because?
I didn't want to cry anymore. I was tired of it. I tried to keep the words in, but when I lifted my face from my hands and glanced up at Bass, it seemed as if he knew what I was talking about. So out came the story. The story I didn't even tell Helena or Simone. The story about how my dad didn't want me, how he had given me the chance but still said no. How I was such a brat when it came to Matt, but he was apparently the one who deserved my respect. How I was hanging on to the wrong man.
Dads can be jerks.
His eyes were on the ground when he said that. Yes, but I let him continue.
That episode in my life, when I was troubled,
He put the word in air quotes.
it was because of my dad. I just found out that my biological dad wasn't the dad I knew. He wasn't the guy I lived with, grew up with. My mom had gotten pregnant, and my real dad didn't want to have anything to do with me. When she told me, she even showed me photos of him on Facebook. I saw him with his other family, kids who looked just like me. I even met them. We played bowling. I beat them all, but in the end, I felt like a loser. Because while I waited for Mom to pick me up, they all went home together. One big, happy family. So I lashed out against my mom, against my stepdad, against my half-siblings. So yeah, I know what that's like.
I couldn't breathe. And when I looked down at my hands, they were clutching his. I wasn't even aware I had grabbed onto them while he was talking. You met him? You met his other family? Have you seen them again since? He smiled and squeezed my hands, not letting go.
Yeah, it's a lot better now. We actually get along. They're cool kids. The youngest one, Sherry, she wants to do Aikido with me. I told her to convince our dad.
I can't imagine that. I looked away at the trees dotting the sidewalk, at the now graying sky. What if my dad has other kids? What if that's why he doesn't want to see me? I felt his hand on my cheek as he turned my face to his.
He probably had a reason for not wanting to see you. Whatever crap reason it is, he must have thought it was a good one at the time.
I don't know if I'll be able to handle it if he had another family.
You're already handling yourself so well, Jerry. You're not beating up little kids. You dance like you're on air and you play like you're on fire.
I swallowed. But I'm angry. I'm so angry all the time, Bass.
I know. I was like that too. I'd ask you to join an Aikido class, but...
I shook my head, letting go of his hands. Yeah, I need to study. Why does my life suck so much?
It doesn't have to.
His voice was so soft. I almost couldn't catch it. I blinked, my mind clearing. I had just spilled my guts to this guy, and I didn't hate him or myself. I looked at him, surprised that we weren't fighting, that I wasn't embarrassed. I almost threw my arms around him, but that would definitely have embarrassed me. I took a deep breath and asked my heart pounding in my chest, "Will you help me, Bass?" I felt the heat creep up my cheeks and spread to my scalp. Well, will you help me with math? I need to dance again. I need to play ball again, and I can't allow myself to become even more trouble than I already am. He smiled and pulled me to him in an embrace that almost cut off my circulation. Then I heard him murmur, close to my ear.
I thought you never asked.
Swept off my feet.
By Ines, Bautista.